So good morning again, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. I hope all is going well for you today. As I've been sitting here listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean, which reminds me to take that breath. And yeah, I've actually been doing that for, 5 or 10 minutes now. I've been contemplating. I actually started, I don't want to jinx it, but I may have had like the first chapter of what I hope will be a book written out. And it should go pretty quickly from this point because I already know what I'm writing, an idea. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time, so we'll see how that works out, but cross our fingers. But again, when we hear that sounds like the ocean, or when we hear the ringing of a bell, or when we light a candle or something, it just remembers we're flipping that light switch that says, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to put my feet flat on the ground and get my butt comfortable and maybe relax my shoulders and our necks. And that way we can know that at least for one part of the day, we're reminded to take a breath. Doesn't matter whether it's morning, evening, afternoon. Well, this video was made 3 years ago. This is our chance to ask the universe what's going on and then sit back and listen. Doing that by using the tarot. Oh, what does the universe have for us today? So, I am going to make our 3 stacks. Each one of these a different thread going out to the universe. Each one of these is a different thought or conversation. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead down one path, whereas these two are 2 totally different conversations that will lead in 2 totally different directions. So today, let's look at the bottom stack. Let's see what's underneath, things that might be influencing us that we don't even notice. We're going to do our 3 and 1. Flipping them over one at a time, just like we're reading a book, 1 page at a time. So this morning we have the 5 of Wands. So 5s are always a challenge. And Wands are fire and energy. So you mix fire and energy with a challenging situation, and you have disagreements that might arise. You know, a lot of times I look at this card because of the size of the family I was from. It's almost like he with the loudest voice wins kind of situation. So, another 5 with the 5 of coins. So this is the result of not resolving these arguments, these conversations, these things that are tying us up into knots. So it can have a physical manifestation, a physical result. So you know when we get that tension and when we argue, we've heard about, or we've ourselves gotten headaches from it, or an upset stomach, or just, they say that they, tie our stomach into knots. So 5s again being challenges, but now we're looking at coins. And coins deal with home, health, finances, and all those things that keep us grounded. And sometimes, traditionally, some people look at this as a negative health effect. So we're seeing the results of not taking care of a situation in a quick manner, but instead, this is what happens when something lingers on. And sometimes the tarot is just gives us like these obvious answers. But sometimes when we're in the middle of the Five of Wands, things are not obvious. What's the obvious thing? You always hear, just walk away. Yeah. How easy is that when you're in the middle of something and you're not thinking? But the Eight of Cups. Cups are spirituality, emotions, and feelings. Eights in numerology are about progress and moving forward. So we have this very linear story going on here, because with the Eight of Cups is about moving forward. It's almost like this card was made to have a map here. And you have the little tributaries on the map and all, but literally it shows the direction to go into, up and beyond. And the thing about the Eight of Cups, and sometimes to be able to progress forward, the question is, what do we need to leave behind? So this is one of those things where we need to remember that, Pamela Coleman Smith did a wonderful job with this card. She shows 5 people with wands, and they're all holding the wands up. They're in a stance where they're defensive, but none of the wands are touching together. Again, it's that arguing, that trying to get a point across, and just how frustrating that can be. And again, how that can tie us into knots, how that can make us nauseous, how it can give us headaches, which is the Five of Coins. It shows how it leads to that. This is just asking us and reminding us that we can walk away from that. And we haven't even flipped over the advice card yet, which is the Seven of Cups. So, sevens are about potential and drives, desires. And again, cups with emotions, feelings, and spirituality. So with the sevens, sometimes it can be about, when we think about potentials, we are wishing for things. We are, sometimes instead of keeping our feet firmly planted on the ground, we look up and we wish we had this, or we wish we had that. And so it's these things that we have a desire for, that we would like to have, those ambitious things, whether it's relationships or money and things like that. But these are the things that don't keep us grounded. These are the things that we would like to have, but they can also be the things that distract us from what we have. It's the things that, if only I had this, things would be okay, instead of saying, what I have is enough. So looking at this today, it's what is that frustration that we might have, and that's maybe clouding us. Maybe we're getting into arguments. Maybe we are being defensive. Maybe we're just not happy. And that happiness comes from the inside. It's an inside job. Getting a brand new car may feel good temporarily. I loved getting my new car, but then I still had to deal with work and everything else that went with it. So plain and simple for today, sometimes we do have these desires and our wants and things like that, and they can overshadow where we are today, and it can trigger us. But are we doing things that are unhealthy for ourselves by doing this? Are we being miserable? Are we raising our blood pressure? And what are the health effects of that? So think about that. Instead of just being happy with where we are today, are we raising our blood pressure because we expect more? We want this. And then as we move forward through, the Eight of Cups is saying, what is it that we need to leave behind to gain a more spiritual sense? What do we need to leave behind so that we can gain? And with that, what a day. So it is beautiful outside here in sunny Maryland. I hope that you end up having an amazing day, an amazing evening, noon, wherever you are. And with that, I will be back here again tomorrow. So, thank you again and take care.